Welcome back, my students. Dr. Upe here, and today I bring you the video of arachnoid granulations. This is the video 11th from the playlist of the diagrams. This diagram is given in the BDC figure 2.4. So this is the figure 2.4 showing arachnoid granulations, and below this diagram is the MRI in coronal section, MRI of arachnoid granulations. This video is also the video third from the playlist of the meninges of the brain and the cerebrospinal fluid. So far we know our brain is protected by first the bone, that's bony cranium, then three layers of the meninges. The outer layer is called as the dura mater, which is two-layer structure. This green here is dura mater, and the second meningeal layer, that's called as the arachnoid mater, and the third meningeal layer, that's called as the pia mater. And below these three layers we have the delicate brain tissue. Clearly, so the dura mater, it is two layered. The space above the dura mater, that is between the dura mater and the bony layer, this space is called as the epidural space. This space between the dura mater and the arachnoid mater is called as the subdural space. So this is the epidural space, subdural space, and between the arachnoid mater and pia mater, or below the arachnoid mater, we have the subarachnoid space. Clearly, between the two layers of the dura mater, we have cranial venous sinuses, or mainly superior sagittal sinus. Clearly, there's an example of cranial venous sinuses. So this is what we learned so far. Now moving on to the diagram of the arachnoid granulations. How to draw the diagram of the arachnoid granulations? First we will draw the dura mater, outer layer of the dura mater. So this is the outer layer of the dura mater. Clearly, then we have the inner layer of the dura mater, this like this. So this is the inner layer of the dura mater. Clearly, after the inner layer of the dura mater, so dura mater is clear. Now we make an arachnoid mater. So this line right here, this green line is arachnoid mater. Clearly, so what are we making here is arachnoid mater. So this is the arachnoid mater, and after that we make pia mater. So this is pia mater. This is pia mater. Clearly, so this is the diagram of the arachnoid granulations. We'll extend it here, here, clearly, here like this. Clearly, so this green layer in this diagram is arachnoid mater. This arachnoid mater has certain prolongations. Those are called as the arachnoid granulations. So the prolongations, these are the prolongations of the arachnoid mater. These prolongations are called arachnoid granulations. Clearly, arachnoid granulations. These arachnoid granulations project into the superior sagittal sinus. We know between the two layers of the dura mater we have the cranial venous sinuses. Example, superior sagittal sinus. So superior sagittal sinus, we make it in red color. Clearly, so what are we making here is the superior sagittal sinus, and from the superior sagittal sinus emissary veins arise. So now we'll name the different, so this is the diagram of the arachnoid granulations. Now we name the different parts. This part right here is the pia mater, this is the third layer, this layer. This green layer is the arachnoid mater. Clearly, is that clear? This arachnoid mater has prolongations. These prolongations, these are called as the arachnoid granulations. Our point of discussion, our point of discussion right here. This red color clearly is between the two layers of the dura mater. So this is the outer layer of the dura mater called as the outer endosterial layer of dura mater. Clearly, this right here is the inner layer of dura mater, that's called as the inner meningeal layer of dura mater. Clearly, between the two layers of dura mater we have the cranial venous sinuses, example superior sagittal sinus. So this red color is superior sagittal sinus, from which emissary veins arise. So these veins are emissary veins. So this is the diagram of the arachnoid granulations, and its CT scan, sorry, its MRI is shown below. This is the MRI and this is the diagram. Clearly, now moving forward, this is all about the diagram part. In this video we will add a clinical point. So we will add a clinical question, clinical point, we can say clinical point. Clearly, so what is that clinical point? We know the space above the dura mater is called as the epidural space, and the space below the dura mater is called as the subdural space. So this clinical point is about the epidural hemorrhage and subdural hemorrhage. You know, whenever there is a brain injury, whenever there is a head injury, there can be hemorrhages clearly. And how can we differentiate between the epidural hemorrhage or the subdural hemorrhage clearly? So what is the difference between that? What is the difference between the epidural hemorrhage or the subdural hemorrhage? Or is how can we say this hemorrhage is epidural in the epidural space or in subdural space clearly? Simple 4 points we will remember. Epidural hemorrhage. Now first point, the epidural hemorrhage is mainly arterial clearly, arterial, and the subdural hemorrhage is mainly venous. So if this is venous hemorrhage, it is subdural hemorrhage. If it is arterial hemorrhage, it is epidural hemorrhage. Number second point that we will remember, it's arterial hemorrhage. So the most commonly affected artery is middle meningeal artery. Middle meningeal artery. Here, since it is venous hemorrhage, so the main vein that is affected is the bridging veins. Clearly, it's the bridging veins. Bridging veins. Clearly. Third point we have in this epidural hemorrhage, lucid interval is seen mostly. Lucid interval is seen mostly. Clearly. And in this subdural hemorrhage, lucid interval is seen rarely. Lucid interval is seen rarely. Rarely. Clearly. Now the question arises, what is lucid interval? You know what is lucid interval? You know, whenever there is a head injury, there is a short period of unconsciousness. Clearly, and after this unconsciousness, clearly, we gain consciousness, or we can say the period of time between the regaining consciousness after a short period of unconsciousness. After a short period of unconsciousness, we gain consciousness. That period of time, that part of time, is called a lucid interval. Clearly. So this is lucid interval. This is mostly seen in epidural hemorrhage and rarely seen in subdural hemorrhage. So after a short period of unconsciousness, we gain a little consciousness. So this period of time is after this period of time between regaining consciousness after a short period of unconsciousness is called lucid interval. Number fourth point we have here is in non-contrast CT. In non-contrast CT. Clearly, in non-contrast CT. When we see epidural hemorrhage, it is biconvex shaped. Biconvex shaped. Clearly. And when we see subdural hemorrhage in non-contrast CT, it is C-shaped. It is C-shaped or crescent shaped. Crescent shaped. Clearly. So if we in a non-contrast CT of the head, we see that the hemorrhage is biconvex shaped or C-shaped. Clearly. So by this the diagram, sorry, not the diagram, by the shape of this non-contrast CT, we can say whether the hemorrhage is epidural or subdural. Clearly. So this is it. Thank you very much. This is the diagram of the arachnoid granulations. Thank you very much.